Vanakkam madam.
Vanakkam.
It's good to have you here.
Nandri.
Rarely I get to talk with American actresses.
Oh.
To be honest with you. So brought up அதாவது யூஎஸ்ஏல வளர்றது அப்படிங்கிறதே ஒரு கஷ்டமான விஷயம். இட்ஸ் சச் அ காம்படிட்டிவ் ஏரியா, ஒரு காம்படிட்டிவ் கண்ட்ரி. கண்ட்ரியில் ஹார்ட் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறவனுக்கு மட்டும்தான் வந்து ரிவார்ட் பண்ணுற ஒரு கண்ட்ரி. தேர் யூ ஹவ் மேட் யுவர் மார்க். ஒரு அங்கே மிஸ் இந்தியா, அது யூஎஸ்ஏ மிஸ் யூஎஸ்ஏ அந்த இது வாங்கி அவ்வளோ க்ரௌட்லேருந்து மேலே தெரிஞ்சு ஸ்டார்ட்டே வந்து இட் வில் பி லைக் இட்ஸ் லைக் அ சங்கர் மூவி. அப்படி தான் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணீங்க அப்படின்னு. த ஜேர்னி யூ டுக் இட்ஸ் சச் எ லாங், அப்படின்னா ஒரு மாதிரி ரோலர் கோஸ்டர் ஜேர்னி அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். How do you feel, madam, sitting here in Alvarpet, looking back at all those stuff? How do you feel?
I'm very lucky, you know, and I also am a firm believer that hard work pays off. I've been consistently working, which I'm very lucky, and I think it's because I've improved on my acting, and I've consistently wanting to do better at my job, which is you take 2 hours to work out in the morning, right, to get your body better. Well, you have to take 2 hours to either learn scenes or read a screenplay, watch a movie, study the scenes. It's really important to do that because I think the business that we're in is very competitive, whether it's in India or whether it's in America or anywhere. I personally got into the film industry because I wanted to share my emotions with everyone. I wanted people to get influenced and learn from me so that they could have better relationships and better family ties with people. And I also felt like my parents gave me such a great upbringing in celebrating India. You know, it wasn't like, okay, you have to be Indian, you have to speak Hindi, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do Diwali, Janmashtami, you know, Holi. It was never forced upon me.
Okay.
So we did it in like a fun way.
Okay.
You know, and that I think was really important, and I think that's why I keep coming back to India, because I don't know, my heart is here.
Okay.
My nani always says, you were born in the wrong country. And I said, no, I was born in the right country so I could blend both of them.
True.
You know, I feel like I'm that bridge. You know, I feel like I can bring American sensibility with Indian sensibility and take it internationally, because now we have to be global. There's no choice. Everyone is watching all of our movies. Everyone is watching online, on your phone, on your iPad.
Yeah.
So we have to be so particular,
Any
even
content,
more now.
Any content is international content.
Correct. So I wanted also, after working with Sir, I thought, okay, what is it that I can do? What is it that I have the ability to do? And that is, I could take Tamil cinema internationally. He has already done that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to take it further into the next generation, right? He already made that mark and he's continuing to make it. But I wanted to kind of be part of that also. And I've just been very lucky, you know, in that sense. And I wanted other Indian Americans also to see that, like, look, cinema doesn't mean about language. It's not about what language you can speak. I think it's about showing your emotions. It's showing your relationships. It's doing extraordinary things on screen where real life people don't get to do.
So, you're coming from a state, Missouri to India.
I come from a village, a gaon.
So, Mumbai varradhu, it's a task. And coming down south, it's totally a different story altogether.
Correct.
For someone brought up in USA.
Yes.
So, the first experience, because you would have heard about a lot of stereotypes about the woods, Bollywood, Kollywood, Hollywood and all that.
Yes.
So the first time that you are stepping into the big screen, parents என்ன சொன்னாங்க, அதே மாதிரி வந்து cousins and people who know, well wishers, என்ன மாதிரி advice வந்து, Pooja, you can do this, you don't do this, you be careful.
None of, you know, all of my family members are engineers or doctors. No one is in the entertainment field. So when I decided to do this, you know, my father said, are you sure? Like, he was very hesitant. So he said, okay, fine, you can do it as long as you get your degree in something else. So I said, okay. So then I graduated in political science and finance, and then I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. But before that, I was Miss India USA, and that's where ABCL, which was Amitabh Bachchan Corporation Limited, asked me to be part of their, you know, training program. So my family basically said, look, are you sure? It's a very tough field. You have to go through a lot of rejection. It's not easy. You have to maintain yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically. So you have to be okay with that. I said, look, there is nothing I can think about 24 hours, 7 days a week, except the arts.
Okay.
Except cinema, except plays. I mean, it was all about acting for me. And they said, okay, I guess we can't stop her. And then I said to my dad, I said, look, Dad, you left your family, everyone, you came to USA by yourself with no backing, with $7 in your pocket.
Wow.
In 1970.
Wow.
And you made it for yourself. I said, so I have that rebelliousness in me anyway.
Yeah.
And my mother, she's no more, but she also instilled that in me. You know, she was an artist, and so she introduced me to Kathak, she introduced me to Bharatanatyam, she introduced me to Indian cinema, which I had no idea about. So I didn't know any of these things, and if she hadn't introduced it to me, I wouldn't be here.
Well, it feels like watching a whole movie, to be honest with you.
It is. I would say by the end of my career, I probably have like 5 movies.
I was watching an interview. Lady Gaga was interviewed, and then one guy gave her an opportunity to sing a song, and she immediately said, "Okay, you audition me. You audition me.
Yeah.
If I get selected, then I will go ahead and sing the song." What is it about these Americans? You know, they want to be a qualified person before doing anything.
I think in America, just like in India, education is very important. And continuing education is very important, which is what the West has been able to do. You go to the West, they are all about, do you have a master's, do you have a PhD, are you training, did you learn from someone, where is your work experience? And I think that's critical. I think it's so important. I'm so happy that they emphasize that. And that's what Kamal sir also emphasizes. I mean, he's always, you see him, he's always working, he's always writing,
qualified,
he's always reading. Yeah, he's qualified. And so but he thinks he's not qualified because he's like, he wants to keep doing something and be curious. I said, my gosh, you are overqualified, okay? But it's important, I think, we have to learn that from the West.
Okay.
Other things, we don't think we have to adapt in India, but definitely one thing I want us young people to do is like, we gotta get more training. We have to learn more, be curious about it, and be excited about it. Because once we're excited about it, that's gonna be, something that where it's infectious.
True.
But it's a very American mentality to have the work,
I'm so surprised.
Yeah.
From street level artists to the top ones, they want to be qualified,
Yes.
they want to hit the bar and then, get to the limelight.
That's true.
That's very rare. So Kamal Haasan happened in your life, It's not easy, No. I was listening to his interview, Vishwarubam. He said, we had a Skype call and we spoke with each other. And then I thought, okay, she was right. And then I called her to India. Then we did all the screen test, etc. And then, we cast her and all that. It's easy for a person like Kamal Haasan because his journey is cinema. He lives, breathes cinema.
Yes. And how many actresses he's worked with, how many faces has he seen as far as actresses, character artists, villains. I mean, he has seen...
I think we need 2 brains,
So yes.
If we were him,
Totally. I totally agree with you. I don't know how he does it. He has this constant record button in the brain, right? One is like, okay, improvisation. The other one is like recording it. Yes.
So Kamal Haasan calls you and casts you in a movie.
Yeah.
What was going in your mind, the first time he called you, you just cut the call and you're sitting there in Missouri or New York.
Yes.
What was going through your mind?
After I ended the call with sir, first of all, I said, did I just have a conversation with Kamal Haasan? Oh my God, this is amazing. Like, how did this happen? I kept pinching myself and I'm like, did that? And then I said, I didn't impress sir. He didn't like me. He didn't like my acting. Maybe I didn't look right. I wasn't wearing the right makeup. Maybe I should have worn Indian outfit, American outfit. I mean, all of these things started going in my mind because he didn't say anything at the end of the call. He just said, nice to meet you. That's it. And I said, I didn't even ask him, should I contact you? Can I get in touch with your production team? Nothing. So I was like, oh man, Pooja, you lost out on an opportunity. Big time. पता नहीं तुमने क्या किया, तुम इतने सालों से काम कर रही हो, फिर क्या फायदा? You know, like what is the point of all this? And then, 5 days later, I'm on a plane to Chennai.
Wow.
Yeah. And he gave me 5 pages of dialogues. And he said it was going to be a screen test, but they actually shot the whole scene.
Cost saving.
You're right, actually. You're right. I don't know if it's cost saving, but yes, that is an obvious one, yes.
What is the biggest learning from a person like Kamal Haasan?
You never give up. He has been through so many challenges in his life, so many ups and downs. His films all make a huge political statement and also a statement in society in general. And he has so many people who say things, against him, and it's disheartening to me that a man who's given his life to cinema, and that to Indian cinema, and has really changed cinema, that we should celebrate and honor him. And I would say the biggest thing that I've learned, I have been rejected from roles. I've been, I don't get a lot sometimes from TV shows. And in America, the competition is tough.
Yeah.
I'm competing against white Americans, Spanish, black, everyone.
Yeah.
And now that South Asians have become popular, it's even more competitive now, right? It's not less. But on the offside of that is that we have more roles. And now they're taking us seriously. They weren't taking us seriously before, but now they are. So it's a really exciting time. But that's something which I admired in him. And I think I could identify that with my own life, was that I struggled and I went through so many hardships in my life, but then seeing him and persevere through it, then you just are like, you got to do it. There's no time to say no, and there's no time to just sit back and relax. Because why are you doing this, right? If I was going to sit down and relax, then I would have become an investment banker. No offense to my investment banker friends. You guys work very hard.
So the first movie, Vishwarupam 1, it went through so much turmoil, most of his fans thought, okay, this will not release.
I know.
Because so much issues. I think this man should quit,
Yes.
Let him stop, because he's going
He
through
did,
so
he
much.
almost did. He said, I'm going to leave the state.
The same building, and he made so much, very disheartening statements and all that.
Yes.
You are there, you are observing all that, you are part of the team and all that.
Yeah.
What was going through his mind, what was he constantly saying to the team?
He encouraged us that, look, I haven't made a bad film. I've made a film based on my voice. I've made a Kamal Haasan film. It's what I believe in. And he says, why would I want to hurt the sentiments of people? I've never been about that. If I wanted to hurt the sentiments of people, I would have been in a different job. So we know that from his movies. You can tell by the way he speaks and the way characters that he plays. He really likes humanity, And so at that time, he went through a really tough time. He was almost shattered because he couldn't believe that people would be so against him. And that too, a movie of his would take it to that level.
Yeah.
Which isn't needed, because it didn't have anything offensive against anyone. In fact, it propagated a very positive look towards Islamic people, towards the Muslims. And my God, we're living in 21st century and we're talking about this. It's nuts to me. We should not be. We're all one human race. Let's freaking work together and let's make things happen for us. These things don't matter.
Yeah.
Everyone has a choice, and he was all about freedom of voice, freedom of expression. That's what democracy is all about. We're not living in a country which you're not allowed to. If you were living in that country, then that's different, right?
Yeah.
But we're not.
Yeah.
And my God, our whole Indian culture is based on inclusiveness. we should voice our opinions. We should talk about, you know, our heartaches and the difficulties and the challenges that we have together. That's how it's going to become, you know, more fun.
True. Truly democratic.
Yeah.
Hollywood, Bollywood, Kollywood. You have seen all the woods. You have been very competitive. What's
And
the
include Telugu.
Oh, Telugu, yeah. And all the woods, you know,
Yeah, all the woods, yes.
to be honest, you know, you will be venturing into different, maybe, you know, you will see you in a Thai movie.
Maybe.
Indonesia. You never know.
Never know. You never know. You
Okay.
never know. Yes.
So what's the stark difference between all these woods? Especially, what is the difference, what is the uniqueness that you see in Kollywood?
Look, I have had a great experience working with Raj Kamal Films. You know, they are very professional. Sir says 9 a.m., he comes at 9 a.m. And so I think maybe I'm spoiled, or because I come from the West, we start on time. So for me, that was normal.
Yeah.
And I think it's critical that we at least start, you know, almost on time, because, you know, everyone has lives. And there's a value of time and there's a value of people, which Raj Kamal has done, which I really appreciate. And also, I think you just get more done in the morning, you know? As the day goes on, you just get tired. And so I just feel like even for filmmaking is so tough. It's so emotionally draining. I feel like starting off early, then you get the time and you get the time to play, you know, because you're doing your character and you're researching and then you're getting warmed up. And then when the camera comes on, then you can, you know, create some movie magic, because that's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
So it's really not fair to compare both the places, because they have access to finance, they have access to technology that we don't have here. And so I think it's difficult to end on that level. But in India, I feel like they're getting way ahead.
Oh.
They're moving very quickly, which I love, because they're seeing now you've got distribution avenues. Before it was only just a theatrical release.
True.
So now we've got the phone, we've got iPad,
Yeah.
we have your
The
computer,
Netflix, Amazon,
and
yeah,
you've
the
got
platforms,
the
yeah.
internet. So it's like now we can make movies for different audiences and get it released so people can see it, which I think is a great time for us and great time for independent filmmakers, great time for people who aren't in the industry to come in, showcase your talent, and then make it. And the other thing I would say is culturally. You know, the stories that are in Tamil Nadu are going to be about Tamil Nadu. The stories that are about Los Angeles are going to be about Los Angeles. So they're culturally based stories, right? Americans aren't really going to write what happens like in the inskirts of Bihar.
True.
Why are they going to write it? Unless he comes and he lives there.
Experiences the life, yeah?
Yeah, he won't know it. So that's why when even directors come from America, I'm like, you got to live in India for 6 months if you want to write an authentic story. And that's why I say to Indians also, my Indian writer friends, I said, look, you got to go to America and live there for 6 months, then only can you write it. But now with the internet, maybe you don't have to do that anymore. But I do feel that there is some authenticity when you go to the place and you actually, you know, live there, breathe it. You understand the nuances, you understand how they speak and all that. You know, in this movie, I play a Brahmin girl, right? And I didn't know anything about it. I'm from North India, as you know. So I took a lot of guidance from Kamal sir about the Brahminical way of speaking. You know, I used to memorize the dialogue, but then I would say, okay, where do I pause? Where do I do all the nuances, the inundations, so that the dubbing artists, you know, wouldn't have too much of a tough time and it would blend in.
Yeah.
And also so that like...
you are thinking about that. That's wonderful of you, because I have seen dubbing artists.
I know, it's so tough.
Literally crying.
I know, it's so tough. It's so tough for them. Well, I feel like then it just makes it harder for them,
Yeah.
and then your performance gets knocked down,
Yeah.
because they're working so hard trying to do something. So I try to do the best I can, right? So hopefully Abhirami ji doesn't hate me that much. Yeah, so that and also dubbing is another thing, is the difference.
Yeah.
Over there, we're used to sync sound. They don't have dubbing over there. You do ADR if something doesn't come out right.
Okay.
You do dubbing over there, but none of the movies are dubbed. It's everything is synced together.
Okay.
So they don't really
Happens
know.
there, that's
it happens right there. Live action sound. That's it. There's no dubbing. You don't go in and get to repeat your performance. Unless something happened, like, oh my God, the footage was, I don't know, burnt in the lab.
SD card burnt.
Yeah.
No film, no more films.
Oh, you're so.
So at what point of time, acting with Kamal Haasan, you thought, this man is global. Okay, this man is not local. This man is something else, and he doesn't deserve to be here. You know, he deserves to be here, but then he needs an international presence and all. You know.
In Heram, when I watched Heram, and I feel like his true self is and his honesty and integrity
Yeah.
is coming out now.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Totally agree.
I feel like we're seeing this new Kamal sir,
Yeah.
right, that we haven't seen before, but
Mayam.
it's been him
Yeah.
the whole time.
The common people never knew.
I don't think they knew.
Yeah.
I think he was misunderstood.
Yeah, true.
And only now are they seeing him in this new light, which is incredible. And I
Yep.
think finally is he getting that due diligence and the respect that he deserves.
You have studied political science.
Yes.
So he's in politics now. So I'm pretty sure you can understand the politics of this big world. What kind of politics that you see in Kamal Haasan, and did he really practice whatever he preaches?
So, look, I don't know much about Indian politics.
Yeah.
I've studied more on
Yeah.
the American side.
Yeah.
And even
It's
when I studied...
almost the same here.
Yeah, I mean, there's same democratic country.
Just the parties are numerous. That's all.
That's it. No, look, I mean, government is government, right? And political science is everywhere is the same. It just depends on how the government is run. But as far as policy making and following what happens, I've been following more in America than I have in
Yeah.
India because I'm not living in India.
Okay.
So I'm just knowing from what I read and stuff. I mean, the only thing I can say I have any say of commenting on Kamal sir is he's given 50 years to Indian cinema. So he's given his life to the people.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a natural transition for him, you know, to go in and do social service. And that's what I think he thinks what he's doing is for people. He's
Okay.
not thinking of it as like, I'm a politician. He's not thinking I'm going to make money. He's not that
Yeah,
type. I mean,
true.
you know that.
True.
So it's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, we have to question him. We have to see what he's going to do. What are your policies? What are your things that you want to do for the people? Is it going to be economical? Is it going to be possible for the government to do it? You know, are you going to create more institutions for education? Is there going to be running water? Is there going to be electricity? I mean, all of these things, you know, have to be questioned. And what is he going to do and how is he going to implement them? We as people, we should definitely ask him. Other people, I don't know who's running for the election. I don't know who else is
Yeah.
going to be going up
Yeah.
against him. So we have to question that person too. And we have to see who's going to be the best candidate. Do I think he's going to do something for Tamil Nadu? Absolutely.
Okay.
I think he's going to do something for Tamil Nadu. I do think so because he's already been here doing so much. It's already in him to do stuff for people. So yeah, but we should question.
So I was 2 months back. I saw this hashtag, Me Too.
Yes.
There was this hashtag. I thought, okay, it's a fancy hashtag, you know.
Yes, yes.
Just go. And I was going through stuff. I simply cannot digest what's
What
happening.
has happened? Yes.
Women in film industry, they have been treated very badly.
Pretty badly.
And I thought Hollywood was treating women fairly, equally, and all that.
No.
And then the total opposite got revealed.
Yes.
What went through your mind while reading all those stuff?
It's sad. I'm happy that those women had a voice. I'm glad that they came out and talked about it because I think if something does happen like that to you, you have to come out and talk about it. You have to voice these troublesome things that happen to you on a personal level, and you don't want to talk about these things. You don't want to share these things that happen because you feel like it's embarrassing.
Yeah, true.
But it's not. Because I feel like if you come out as women and talk about what's happened to you and you've experienced these disgusting situations with men, then other women are going to come out and talk about it. And I also think now, also the males will also be looking at females in a different way.
Yeah.
I always say, I was like, why wouldn't you love women? I mean, we're dedicated to men. We're dedicated to human life. We procreate. It's not in our DNA to be hurting people. It really isn't. And so why would you want to do that? Like, I feel like you propagate women, it's only going to help you. You know, like, behind every successful man, there's a woman. There's a reason why that phrase is there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that's going to continue to come out, I think, with this movement. It's important to support the women. It's important to treat them nicely. I mean, they're our mothers, they're our sisters, they're our, daughters.
I think you will be the right person to ask this question.
Yeah.
Your definition of the term feminist.
Feminist. My definition is confidence, a woman who is true to herself, and also encourages other women to help people. That's my definition of feminism. I don't think it has anything to do with women are better than men. I don't think so. That's a wrong definition.
Okay.
It's about sticking up for your voice. That's it, and loving other people.
Vishwarubuntu.
Yes.
It's all set for the 10th release. And everywhere you turn, there is promotions happening.
Yes.
And there is this genuine expectation among audience, fans, and everyone. Have you seen the film, or did you have a glimpse of all the stuff happening?
I have seen some of the footage. I have seen a rough cut. So I haven't seen the full thing as of yet. But I'll truly say, like, I am so excited about the movie because finally it's coming out. All of our hard work is going to be paid off. And it really is an exciting movie. I mean, there is so much action, there's drama, there's romance, and he's really made a really good film. Okay. I mean, it's a film where, you're right, the expectations are high, and they should be. Yeah. But it really will surpass your expectations.
Pooja Kumar as a woman, as an entrepreneur, as a short film producer,
yes,
and so much. Where do you think you'll be in 5 years? I think you'll be producing some Hollywood movies.
Yes, I would like to produce more South Asian content for women.
Wow.
So hopefully I will open up my own mini studio.
Huh.
An international studio, yes. That's what I would like to see in 5 years.
So I think we can reach you directly.
Yes.
we have the access now.
Yes, you do. You do.
The first access.
Yes, yes.
It was a pleasure talking to you,
Thank you.
Pooja ma'am. And I wish nothing but the best to you.
Thank you.
Forgive if the English is very bad.
No, forgive me, my Tamil is very... நான் பேச முயற்சி பண்றேன்.
இல்ல பரவாயில்ல. இல்ல, but it's good, it's like watching CNN. For me, I was like, okay, this is how news sounds.
Okay.
Now we are listening to the anchor in real life.
Thank you. Wow. You're comparing me to CNN journalist.
No, it was so articulate.
Oh, thank you.
The words are so clear. Even a child can understand.
Great.
Even a person without the understanding of English,
he can
understand.
Thank you.
So, thank you, ma'am. Another opportunity. I'll meet you.
Yes.
With another huge movie with you in the lead.
Yes.
Something like that.
Very exciting.
Yeah?
Yes. I will let you know.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Vanakkam.